Hi, friends. Happy Tuesday of Pokemon Week. Yesterday, we left off building Eevee, so I'm going to continue to work on Eevee. And Penny is excited to see a neighbor outside, if you can hear her in the background. But yeah, so I'll be working on Eevee. And wanted to show you yesterday also, we got through these two. So this is the Gift of Purchase. It is the Kanto region badge collection. Really, really cool. So I'll leave that over here. And then the other is on this side. Well, it's kind of hidden. Penny, calm down. We've got the mini Pokemon Center with the doors that open and close. So super, super cool. Really great little sets that I got to build yesterday, and excited to continue today with Eevee. And then to move forward with more of the Pokemon. Hi, friends. Hello. So we've got Victor, we've got Bev and Missy. Good to see y'all. I know there's others in the chat too, so feel free to say hi. And yeah, Penny is going to be joining us with her coughing and barking. So thanks for your patience with that. How's your Tuesday? What's going on? What is new? So as I was looking through the sets, I started to unbox some of the other ones, and I want to show you. So you see this box here to my right, to your left on the screen, I think. That is a Pokemon Ball box. That is one of 3 that came stacked in the massive set that has all 3 of the huge Pokemon. So was really excited to see that they separated it into 1, 2, and 3 so that you could build each one individually. So I did a poll on Instagram to see which one you wanted me to build after Eevee, and people responded with lots of different responses. But yeah, really excited to see all of this, or to see that I can build them in kind of whatever order I wanted to. So yeah, other than people are receiving their copies of the Pokemon sets. I saw that. So I somehow got lucky with it showing up yesterday, and I don't really know why. But I'm really glad that I have had the opportunity to work on building it. So excited to see kind of also how others build and review and what they share with it too. But I'm thrilled that y'all are here with me today for live streaming fun, and to see me continue as we go through. So we will continue with bag 3. Let me tilt this down. You can also see my background is less Christmas-fied. So we've been working on adjusting the house so that it's less Christmassy. And yeah, so I've got some flowers up there. I've got my Wicked poster playbill up here. So, all right, and we will continue with bag 3 for Eevee, which is super fun. So yesterday when I was playing Pokemon Go, I also was learning about the variety of different EVs that you can get in the game and how there's different tactics to reach them, which was really fun. And so I renamed one of my EVs, or the one EV I had that hadn't been evolved yet. And it's cool because it instantly changed the color to pink, which means that I did it right, and that I'm going to be able to get the next evolved one, which is fun. So yay, you built the Baratier. That is such a fun set. I really, really thoroughly enjoyed building it. And I love that you got a chance to build it too. So hi, Zach. Good to see you. Victor, did you rewatch the show while you were building it? I'm curious on how you kind of went about that build experience. Like many of you know, Philip and I like to build while we watch different things, especially the pop culture related things. We love to watch the show or movie or whatever. So it's always fun to see like if others kind of follow suit with that same type of thing. All right, so another new to me part. This one is twice as wide as the rounded ones that we saw before, which is interesting because we saw those in light tan, and here it is in medium nougat. And so the light tan ones are here, and there's 2 side by side, when really they could have just used the one if they printed it in that color. You know, I'm sorry about Penny. She is so excited that someone parked in front of our house. I know. You tell him, Penny. You tell him. I love that she decides that she's keeping us safe all the time. So I was actually rewatching Euphoria with your husband. Oh, nice. Getting ready for the upcoming season. Good stuff. And the orange tabby cat got revealed. Yes, I am very, very excited about that. We got to see that at Fan Media Days, and I got to interview the Lego designer, Chris McVeigh, about it. And so I have some video that I need to edit for y'all to see and hear my interview with him. It was so cool, and we talked a lot about like what's his build process and his design process. So I learned a lot about him as a designer, which was really cool. And I'm a huge fangirl of his and his amazing work. So it was such a treat to get to meet him and interview him. So yeah, that's been a secret that I've had to keep for a while. I have some friends who love the Tuxedo Cat but wanted different colors of it, and we're thrilled to see the new orange version, which is fun. So, and it's beautiful. It's really beautiful in person. So they sent that to me to review too. And I'm very excited to get to build it and have it on display side by side with our Tuxedo Cat, which is cool. So our good friend actually has a, so here's a printed part. So this has some pink on it. It's hard to see in there, but yeah, it's got like a pink oval on it. Anyway, our friend has a cat that's a Siamese cat, and so we talked about like what would be a way to adapt the colors potentially so that it looked like hers, which she had another that passed away, unfortunately, and so it'd be kind of fun to give her cat a companion again. But yeah, we'd have to do a lot of recoloring for that. So all right, this looks like we're building the back legs, and they're kind of a different shape than the front legs, which makes a lot of sense and fits the scale pretty well. Using similar techniques in terms of like the snot building techniques and whatnot. Hi, Penny. Now she's like chilling under the table. But yeah, similar techniques, and that's going to create that kind of rounded effect for the legs that looks shaped in the right way, but also it looks like it's a little bit more like seated, kind of like back legs normally are with animals, if that makes sense. I'll show you in a minute. Ooh, another printed part. This is exciting. So this one, I'm really excited to see so many printed parts on Eevee. I wasn't sure if we were going to be getting stickers or not, but it looked like from the pictures that they were printed, and they are. And that's my expectation now for the other brick-built Pokemon sets. So we'll see. We will see. But yeah, so you can see it's nice and rounded and smooth on that side and kind of has that like larger hip type piece. Will you be building something for the Yu-Gi-Oh set LEGO Ideas contest? I haven't seen it yet, the LEGO Ideas contest. I probably will not, to be honest, just with time. And I'm running the Valentine's Habitat Challenge. And so that usually means that needs to be my main focus at the time. But I'm excited to see what types of submissions people do. So it's always fun to see. I love LEGO Ideas, and I love the contests that they've been doing and how that's brought in kind of a lot of people into the LEGO Ideas platform and learning a little bit more about it and having some chances to like get things to be like gifts with purchase and that kind of stuff. All right, so here's that other printed part I wanted to show you. So we've got little kind of toe prints that give you 3 toes here on the feet, which is cute. And that's going to clip on here. So we have a little foot, which the front feet, I actually didn't notice. So it looks like the front feet have that too. I didn't notice that yesterday when I was working on it. Penny, girl, come on, calm down. She is real loud this morning. And by morning, I mean afternoon. In fact, I'm going to go close that window because I think that's what's getting me riled up. Hey, girl, no more looking. We're going to close this window so you stop working. See, they're gone. They magically moved and disappeared. You don't need to bark anymore. Let's see if it helps. Hey, calm down. Good girl. All right. How about you? Do you plan to build for that contest? And do you build for a lot of the LEGO Ideas contests? They're super fun. And like I said, it's a great way to potentially have your build become something like a gift with purchase sometimes, or even to win Lego prizes. They are very generous with the prizes there, which I love. And it's such a great way too to get some feedback on your builds. So maybe sometime I might need to incorporate my build challenge community into a Lego Ideas challenge. That'd be really fun to get to kind of partner with them. So maybe I should reach out to the Lego Ideas team about that, actually. All right, so building another leg. So this is a repeat, but this is mirror image of it. And like I said yesterday, a lot of times when I'm doing this, when I'm not on a stream, I like to try and do it from memory just to see if I can remember the build steps when it's a repeat part or when it's mirror image. So yes, I'm seeing some others in the chat. I'd love for you to say hello, or some others on the stream. I'd love for you to say hello and let me know who's here. I shared this a little bit more broadly too on Facebook, so it's always fun to see like if anybody from my past in different work that I've had with different work life situations show up, or anybody with kids that I know in Austin, or from my background that are here. I'd love to know if you're joining and what you're most excited about or what you're building. All right, so Eevee's coming together pretty quickly, which is fun. And I'm liking the shaping. I feel like they did a really good job capturing the shaping of her. I say her, but I know that it could be him or her. But in my head, this one is a girl. All right. And once we're through with this leg, I'm curious to know what it'll have me build next. When I was looking through the instructions, or through the box rather, for the large set, I was excited to see how they separated it all out, like I said. But one of the things that's interesting is each one kind of comes with its own stand, and all those stands connect together, so you can have them all separate. And so as you're building the one with whatever box that you pick, you also end up building the stand that's associated with it too, which makes sense. So I was wondering if they were going to separate the stands from the Pokemon. But I honestly think that was a smart decision not to, because I think a lot of people would probably stop building after they finish the Pokemon without the stands, maybe. And so this gives them a chance to make sure that people continue the build process. So let's see, what did I do here? Okay. So I like here, they're using this piece underneath, and that's because it shows visibly. So let me show you here. So part of it gets covered up on the bottom, but you still see that little bit here that's showing. And I think that was a really smart use. They could have just used a 1x2, but it adds a little bit of depth to it that also works with covering up. So you see that tan piece at the top, that tan snot brick, when you cover it up, it disappears. So very smart use, as well as just kind of fits with the shaping that's necessary for the character. So, all right. You built one for the vendor cart, but you don't know why. Your build turned out so boring compared to the others. You like your techniques, but the pictures didn't do it justice. Honestly, a big part about winning with LEGO Ideas is being able to do some really strong photography. People need to be able to glance at it and instantly know what you're building and instantly see the really cool details. And I found that to be very challenging to do. People give very little time to looking through your submission. And so that would be one thing I would encourage people to focus on if you're wanting to be successful at LEGO Ideas, is make sure that what you're producing, people know exactly what you're going for, just at a quick glance. So yeah, that'd be one thought with that, because I think that can be tough. OMG, you should add some accessories to Eevee, just like the video games. Yes! I love the idea of adding a bow. That's a perfect idea. And should be pretty easy to do. So thank you for that suggestion. I will have to go through and look for some pink pieces. You bought the Lego Artemis rocket today and you're building it. Yay! How fun. That is also a really cool build. That is the one that's the Technic one that when you crank it, it like launches, right? If I'm not mistaken. If so, we got to see that at Fan Media Days too. And that was so impressive. And we asked the guy to re-crank it over and over and over again. That's really cool. What a fun set to have. All right, bag 4. Just 2 more after that, so we're halfway there with Eevee. Other than the bow, of course, which is going to have to come later. Okay. Yeah, for a parts pack, this would be great. Although I will say I don't expect this ever to be one that's like on mega sale. And so, it is priced the way it is that you're not going to see like, oh, super cheap parts pack, but great parts pack if you're looking for lots of medium nugget for sure. And lots of brackets in these sets. So this could be a really fun one for doing a draft with. Could really work well. Yes, it's the moving one. Awesome. That's what I thought. Good stuff. Good stuff for sure. Okay, so it's also interesting to me when I see in Lego sets when the math doesn't fully match up, but it gets hidden. So you can see just under that light bluish gray how there's a little gap that's there. And that's perfectly fine because it's going to disappear once we put other things around it. But that gives me hope in my building abilities sometimes because I could spend hours trying to solve for that when really you might just easily cover it up and it's perfectly fine. And I've seen that in a number of sets recently. So that's made me feel better about like, oh yeah, maybe I'm being too strict on myself with some of that too. Although it is super satisfying when you figure out a fix that's like the perfect math that works for a Lego build. So yeah, fun that you're building that one. I love that so much. And if I'm not mistaken, you are in Germany, right? And so it is your evening time, which is fun. We are middle of the day here. I have my smoothie and I need to remember to drink it. So we do smoothies for lunch just about every day during the weekdays because they're easy and it's something that one of us can fix for both of us at the same time and just knock it out quickly. It's one of those like lunches of convenience more so than like anything super exciting, but hey, it works. But yeah, usually I try to do all that before I jump on a stream, but I had a meeting that went until basically 1:30. And so I had to it went until 1:20, but I had to rush to get everything ready for our smoothies. Great and exciting information, right? Hey, Penny, what is it? Hey, what's going on, girl? What is it? Oh my. She can see outside again, y'all. She found a little crevice in the blinds. I love that she is constantly patrolling to make sure that we're safe. And I wish she would just know that we're safe. But that's part of the life of having a dog. We love her so much. Okay, so building more here that looks like, I'm wondering if this is like one of the ears? This can't be. Or maybe this is the tail. Oh, this might be the tail. Okay, that makes more sense. It just was starting to get larger than I was expecting it to be. But Eevee's tail is pretty big, so that makes sense. All right. So thanks to Bev and Missy for schooling me on all things Pokemon yesterday with teaching me about how Pokemon Go works because I'd been playing it and I didn't know certain things yet. And so I learned that I need to keep leveling up to move forward with being able to list new Pokestops. And I'm excited about that now that I know how to do that. But I need to keep leveling up to get there. So I think I've got 4 more levels to climb before I can officially mark our neighborhood murals on there because there's some new ones, which is fun, that aren't listed. But that was fun, and I'm excited when we get to the next TechSlug meeting to connect with y'all on there. Do I listen to Lego-related podcasts? Well, one that I did listen to and still will continue to listen to and love is the Talk Bricks Masters podcast by my friend Talk Bricks. So MJ is a friend of mine who's also a LEGO ambassador, and he puts together an incredible overview of LEGO Masters each season, and gets to interview past contestants on it, which is really fun to talk about like what their experience was on the show, and also to get their opinions and feedback on the current seasons, and then interviews teams as they get eliminated. And so that's one that I love, but I also think it pairs with the show, so it's important to kind of watch the show as you're going through that one. But that's one I would recommend. I see the call out for London Calling in the chat, and I agree. I've been a guest on there before and really enjoy Greg. He's great. He's a wonderful host and a very friendly guy, and just has lots of wonderful positive vibes and great personality. He always has interesting guests on there too, so it's interesting to hear. It's interesting too because you said podcast, and I didn't think of that one. Not because I didn't think of London Calling to suggest, but because I think of that as a YouTube show. And I know that technically now YouTube shows can be podcasts. So it technically would be both. But yeah, in my brain, I'm like, oh, that is a podcast. That's a good point. So definitely recommend that. That's every Friday. And he's been doing it for a very long time, which is really cool. It's been many, many Fridays now, like years worth. Multiple years worth. So, and then thinking of like other YouTubers, my friend Ben from our lug, he has a YouTube show that is fantastic, and he runs it every Thursday night, I believe, and then every Sunday morning. So that's another one that I recommend. Those are just the like real quick off the top of my head. I'm sure there's others as well, but I'm curious about others too. You're reading my podcast right now while you're working. Awesome. Well, I hope that that's entertaining and helpful. So good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah, I've never really thought of this as a podcast, which is fun, but I guess it could be. And that is really like it's an accessible option right there with YouTube. Maybe I need to look into what it takes to have it listed on websites where people go to find podcasts. I don't know. I don't know, y'all. Oh, I did that wrong. So I need to fix this. Come on. I love this super bushy tail for Eevee. This is going to be really cool, and I'll show you in just a second progress I'm making on it once I get this part fixed. Here we go. My friends 2Gay Afols also have a wonderful show that they do on Saturdays, and so that's another good one that you could check out too. All right, so this is one side of the tail, which is so cute and so large and bushy and just perfect. And this is the other side that you can see we're missing all of the layers that'll come that make it that rounded shape, so that it'll be fully round all the way around, which is cool. So. You'll check it out. Awesome. Good stuff. It's a dual production audio podcast and live streamed program. That's good to know. So yeah, I need to look into, or not need to, but I might look into what that would be for mine. So truthfully, I like the video aspect of this because I like to show people what I'm building and talk about it in that way. Whereas with Greg, so much of it is conversation with people that like you do see things, and he also like projects pictures that people submit each week and all kinds of stuff. So it's a wonderful, super well produced show. But his naturally maps to podcasts very well. Whereas mine, I think I'd have to think more on what I'm providing and if that really fits that for people. So am open to feedback for sure if you have thoughts on that. So, oh my gosh, it's coming together, and this is so cute. This is so cute. I love the size of this little friend. Not so little friend. And I love just how massive the tail is for an Eevee. They're always so large, which is part of what makes it so cute, right? Cannot wait to get to the part of building the head though, because yeah, that will certainly finish it off and give it that adorable expression. Yay! We are all finished with the tail. Yeah, we are flying. It is 2:00 and we are making some good progress. Look at this. I love how the tail, okay, I need to hold this up for y'all. I love how the tail is so much larger than these little legs and feet. Like just perfect. And it can swivel back and forth. So I can be like real happy to see you. So cute. Okay. And then here, when you look on the back, you can see the back of the legs have those like 2 little pink dots on them, which is fun. And then the front of the little toes have those little lines to make it clear that there's toes on all 4 feet. That's so cute. Okay, y'all. All right, moving on to bag 5. Fill up there some bananas for Penny. And then the little spoonful of yogurt, too, on the counter. Thank you. Penny loves when we make our smoothies because she gets the ends of bananas and it's like a sweet treat for her. But then also she gets a spoonful of our Greek yogurt. And so she wasn't out here when I was making it, which normally she's right there beside me. But she was asleep on the couch, so I didn't want to wake her up. But now she's getting her treat and she's probably going to stop being so loud after that. Okay. I'll have to look again at Instagram and see on the voting for what people wanted me to build next. But the last time I checked, it was Charizard was a clear winner with Pikachu being the next one. So I'll check again if you want to run over there and make your votes known before I get to finishing with Eevee. That'll be when I make the final decision on what's next. I'll obviously continue and get through all of them, but I'm seeing Charizard. Vote for Charizard in the chat. Get stuff. Yeah, feel free also just to yell out in the chat what you'd like me to build next to, and I can kind of move or incorporate that in with the feedback that we got on Insta. So let's see. When I was opening those large bags too, or the large boxes for the set, I was excited to see at a quick glance that it didn't seem to have stickers. So I think I'm guessing all of the brick-built Pokemon sets don't have stickers. We'll see with Pikachu when I open that one. But for those who are not fans of stickers, you can rejoice. I love stickers because I love how much they add to sets. And it doesn't bother me too much to have to put them on. But I know some people have strong opinions against them. So, okay, so we're doing some nice Technic building. So this is probably going to connect here to the head. But I wanted to show this just to give you a sense of like very simple piece, but gets reinforced using these Technic axles. And that's going to help make sure that the head stays on. I know I've built brick-built characters before where the connection for their head or limbs sometimes is not as strong. And so then they tend to topple over. I like to learn from the Lego designers about what they do and incorporate to make sure that that doesn't happen. So, so you can see here now we've got that brick on the top, the aqua one, and then those orange ones. Those are all both studded in, but then also have, or the blue one will be studded in, but they have all those axles that are going to hold it together pretty well. And then now here we get to studding it in. Let's see, how does this go? It goes something like, let's see if this is this way. What am I doing? Okay. Let me flip these orange things. I did them the wrong orientation. There we go. I was going to say something wasn't matching up here. Okay. Much better. So those orange things had to go up and down alongside the gray thing. All right. So now this should clip in. Perfect. So now it's all studded in, and that's going to get surrounded with other bricks that are going to hold it in place. But simply overlapping your bricks doesn't always do the trick when it comes to parts that are meant to move around or shift. You can see on the wall, well, kind of. Let me push this up for you for a second. You can see on the wall the floral set up here. So that's 2 boxes. or 2 sets worth that they sent us, which was so fun. And at first I put it in an L shape because I wanted to have it as like a corner around the Wicked piece here, or maybe around our TV or something. And I might still move to that eventually. But where I already had the nails on the wall didn't match up with where that needed to be. And I didn't want to put more holes in the wall yet. So need to talk with Philip about making a smart decision about that before we add more holes. And so I switched it to be just kind of this square grid. But what I found was that even the weight of that, once you attach them together, it gets very heavy. And you need to be really careful to make sure that that you don't overdo it and make it fall over. Um, so yeah, just something to think about. Okay, so building more of this internal structure full of snot bricks and Technic, which is going to hold our Eevee together really well. Okay, I'm going to tilt this back down so you can see the table. So we have Eevee. Scoot her back. There we go. My Eevee's a girl. This time. All right. So yeah, like I said, lots of axles, Technic pieces, brackets, snot bricks. These black ones are the corner snot bricks that have one stud coming out on either corner. So you can see that. Let's see, maybe, there we go. So you can see there's one stud here, and then if I rotate it a little bit, you can see the other stud. But those are a great piece, very useful for muck building. Hello, thank you. Happy Tuesday build. Happy Tuesday lunch break. I hope that you're having a wonderful day at work. And I'm happy that you're here. Thanks for joining again, buddy. Buddy? Who says that? Apparently I do. It's funny to think through, like, one thing that I was talking with Philip about once was I said something to the effect of, I don't feel like in person I talk the same way as I type. And so sometimes I wonder if people think that I sound a certain way based on the words that I type. And he's like, well, what are you talking about? What words? And I said, well, I feel like I'm always like, yay, and wow, and like all these exciting words and things. And he's like, that is how you talk. So, and then he's pointed it out to me to show me, like, yes, you tend to be like very verbal with like lots of excitement all the time, which is fun. So I guess I just didn't know myself all that well. All right, so this is so much fun, and this bag 5 is more of the internal pieces, so we're getting all of that internal structure for our little friend here, but we won't see the cuteness until the next bag, I don't think. So have to wait for that one, I suppose. All right. So I know one person was talking about building that that rocket ship build. Anybody else working on a build right now, or have one that you're excited to get to soon? Last night I met up with a friend who I had built a set for her that she was wanting someone else to build because she's not much of a Lego builder, but had it as a gift for her nephew. And so it was really nice to chat with her and connect. But the set was the candle, the table display set that Philip had bought me for Christmas. And so it was fun to finally get around to building it because I hadn't yet. And that was a nice excuse to dive in, which was good. But it was so fun to chat with her. And I love talking with people who are not a part of the Lego community about like what it is that I do and what it is that our community is like, and how we connect with other builders online. And it was just really, really fun and gratifying to just hear someone who was excited about like, wow, that is so cool to know that this community exists. So all I have to say there is thank you for helping make it so cool. Y'all really make it into a wonderful experience here. Okay, here is another new to me part. So we've got this corner that's like chipped off, right? But it's a large one. So I'm loving that we're getting more of these curved parts. I think oftentimes when I see these in sets, I usually think that they come from Speed Champions. This time I'm not so sure though. This could be coming from these Brick Built character sets. So, okay, let me see where this goes. Okay, if I flip that this way. Aha. So that's going to go here, and then This is going to go on here, and we're hiding. There's like a little gap there where we hide this like round cone piece, or not cone piece. I want Pokemon minifigs. You are not alone, my friend. Lots and lots of people are really hoping for that in future waves. I am too, and I think it'll be fun to see if they come through with that. I know that they started with these huge brick-built beasts of sets. They're massive sets. Eevee is the smallest of the ones you can purchase. And so, but my hope is that they also move in the direction of having some minifig scale too. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. Nobody knows though. So for last month, my local LEGO store has been sold out of the Lightning McQueen and DeLorean set. So I finally ordered it this weekend. 2 times points for the win. Yes, definitely building this week. Awesome. And I'm sorry that it was sold out. That's never fun. But I am glad that you were able to source it online from the LEGO store. Shameless self-promotion here. So one thing that I would love if you're going to order online is if you would use my affiliate link. What that does is it charges you nothing. It's the exact same price as it would be otherwise. But what it does for me is it gives me a tiny kickback. So for instance, if you bought like a $200 set, I might get $2 out of it. So it's not like I'm getting huge amounts of money off of you using it, but any little bit helps. And the amount of time I spend doing content creation, it's nice to have that little support. So I say that and I feel cringy and awkward saying it, but I feel like self-promotion is also something that I want to be better about doing and supporting other people too. So there's that. And I'll drop that in I'll drop that link on the description of this video at some point. I don't know when. So, but yes, Pokemon minifigs would be so cool. If they had Pokemon minifigs, would you want them to be the Pokemon that are minifig scale, or would you want it to be characters from Pokemon that are catching them, and then have the Pokemon be like animal scale? Does that make sense? What I'm asking? I'm curious if that resonates with y'all. So yeah, I would love to see what they would produce. It'd be really interesting to see if they went that direction, kind of how that would all come together. So if they did the Pokemon as minifig scale characters, I could see them doing multiple waves of minifig custom minifig series, right? Yes, characters, minifig scale, Pokemon animal scale. Interesting. Okay. Yeah. Curious on others' thoughts on that too, if you agree or disagree or what you'd like to see there. But yeah, I could see them doing multiple waves of CMF lines with Pokemon, and they would have unlimited characters. I mean, kind of like Animal Crossing. I'm surprised we have not seen a CMF line of Animal Crossing with the sheer number of characters that are available in that in the game. But they fit very well, of course, with sets. But yeah, like that has surprised me that we haven't gotten that yet. Okay, so just showing you these curved pieces, like they just look stunning together. It's really, really solid. So, or similar to the current CMF series, I feel like minifigs wearing Pokemon costumes. Oh my gosh, yes. I would love that. I fully support that option. I think that would be so cute. So super cute. Okay, let's petition for that. Let's make it happen. Lego, if you're listening, they're not listening. But I can tell them, hey, this came up on my chat, and this is what the people want. Give the people what they want. All right. Nice rounded shape here for the bottom of Eevee's head. We've got a few more pieces in this bag, and then we'll move on to bag 6, the final bag for Eevee. I can't believe we made it so fast. Now, once we get into these bigger sets, I think that's when it's going to be like, y'all, we have multiple days to get through Charizard. Who knows how fast we'll go. We'll have to wait and see in just a little bit, actually. Yes, gym leaders would be awesome. Okay, that'd be fun. I love this idea. CMF of each of the gym leaders. Animal skill, yeah. That y'all have some great ideas. All right, here is the moment, or the like freeze frame moment. This is where we're at the end of bag 5. So let's move on to bag 6, and we will finish out the head and attach it to Eevee. And then at some point I will come back and add a brick built bow for the suggestion in the chat, which was so smart. With all the pieces, I think so. Yay! So I'm curious if you have noticed that you've been getting, when you buy Lego sets, the paper bags yet, or if you're still noticing that you're getting a lot of the plastic. And if you don't mind sharing where you live, because I think in America, most of the sets are still the plastic bags, but the ones that we get for the Lego Investor Network typically come directly from Hungary. And so my assumption is that they've moved those facilities already to the paper bags, but they haven't moved the Mexico one and Virginia one yet. So not sure though. Okay, printed part. Look at that smile. It's so cute. And we will dive in to bag 6. I'm going to take a drink break. The only way I would be excited about smart bricks would be if we had any Animal Crossing with smart bricks and the songs and the characters speaking. Okay, you just made smart bricks the coolest thing ever. If that would come through, that would be outstanding. If you didn't know, which many of you know me from Instagram, so you've probably seen this, I love Animal Crossing so much. So that would be a perfect opportunity to incorporate smart bricks for sure. So I will be passing that on as well. You got paper on a set. You got Friday in Austin. Oh, cool. Which set? You got some paper bags. A few have had both paper and plastic. Cactus set that I got was all paper. Oh, fun. Tulip set was a mix. Okay, so we're seeing a variety. Artemis still has plastic, which you were surprised about. Same, since it's so new. Last few sets you purchased had paper. Okay, so it looks like it is coming through all around, which is nice. Okay, I just learned this last night, and I'm so excited that I know it now. As I'm building Eevee's head, let me put these on and then I'll show you. But they have the colors for the 8 different, that represent the 8 different evolutions for Eevee that are in here. Oh my gosh, this is so fun. So I had learned yesterday, because of Pokemon Go, that Eevee can evolve multiple different ways. And so, or 8 different ones really. So yeah, in Pokemon Go in particular, if you rename your Eevee to one of 8 specific names before you evolve it, then it will evolve directly into that specific one. So look at that. 8 different colors. My assumption is that's what that is representing. Let me know if you have a different interpretation of that, but that is my assumption as to what that would be for, which is so fun. I love learning that insider knowledge when it's like, oh, this is neat, and it's like even more special for people within the fandom. But I love it even more so when it's like, oh wow, I already knew that before I started building this. So I'm super glad that I learned that last night, because literally the timing couldn't have been more perfect. I was looking up, actually, I was looking up what Pokemon evolve into. I knew Charizard and I knew not Ivysaur. I knew Bulbasaur. Like I knew both of those evolutions would come through, but I couldn't remember what the third one in the large set was and how that evolved. And so when I looked that up, I was like, oh, of course, Squirtle, which we talked about yesterday. So that made me really excited. And I thought, I wonder what Eevee evolves into. Even though I've evolved Eevee multiple times in the game, I wasn't paying attention or noticing that it was changing to be a different thing evolved each time. And so that's when I was like, wait a minute, this is unique and interesting. And I learned that little tidbit for you, or for me, that I shared with you all just now. So clever little piece that they added in. That's super cute and super fun. Where's that other? I need another 2. Okay, here it is. I was gonna say, please don't say I'm missing a part. Last year, there were 2 sets that I was building for from the LEGO Investor Network that both had a part in it that didn't belong and was missing a part altogether. I was like, y'all, what is happening? This never happened in the past. I don't get why that's happening now. So I'm glad to see that what I just thought might have been that problem is not the case. Love that. Can't wait when they release a Vaporeon set. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, but yes. Evolutions. Is that how you pronounce it? Evolutions? I don't know how to pronounce it. I've heard the pronunciation evolutions online, which is really clever. Yeah, that's what came up when I was searching for it last night too. But I didn't actually verbalize it. So now I'm trying to read it and I'm like, wait, how do you say that? How do you say that word? Um, it's what I love so much about really about Lego. Not what I love about Lego, but one of the things I love about Lego is how through this hobby I have become interested in a variety of different fandoms that I just didn't know about before. And then how much you learn about the deep knowledge within each fandom and how there's like all of these subcultures that exist in the world that are so fascinating. Okay, this part I was thrilled to see in these sets, and I saw them in. I'm looking over there because it was in one I built. Oh, in Olaf in white, I think. But this part, which is new to me, I love this one, and am very excited to get more of them. We could have used a lot of them when we were working on our Oz build, when we worked on our Philip and I did our collaborative build of the Wizards map room. That piece would have been so helpful in green in particular. And so I'm hoping that we get our hands on a bunch of it because I want to fix some things that we did in the set that had to be more complicated because that part didn't exist. So, all right. More shaping of this little fella. Super cute. Oh, and we're putting on the smile. The little smile goes there. So now we know the orientation of the head. So cute. Yeah, I am very curious to know and learn from Lego if they share just how well these sets do. And by that I mean we know they're going to be like incredibly big sellers and like do incredibly well, for sure. That's without a doubt. But I am super curious to know like how well, because I think that'll also shape how much they invest in continuing to do more. Okay, more printed parts. There is a tile in here with a tiny little nose. Yay. Trying to get it to focus. There we go. So cute. Yes, you'd love all the evolutions as sets. I love that. Yeah, that would be super fun. And honestly, like, just think of it. That alone is one Pokemon with multiple evolutions, right? Think of if they did every single Pokemon. Like we talked yesterday about, oh, it'd be so fun if they had a Squirtle. Well, they've got the evolution of one, so let's bring on a Squirtle. Okay, and here are the eyes. All right, and let me double check, but I think okay. So these are two different prints. They're mirrored image prints of each other. But I love these, and I honestly want a second copy of Eevee just for those eyes so that I can maybe make a completely different character using those eyes, because I think that just would be so fun. Y'all, it's adorable. She is so cute. So, so cute. Okay, and then let's actually attach her here. Okay, so all kinds of snot building on the inside. You can see that Technic piece too that's helping make sure that Technic core stays together. But you attach this on. Look at the shaping of this. So interesting. And I like that we've got the placement here for the ears. So cute. So cute. All right. Wait, did I do that right? Nope. That's why that made... Okay, I was looking at that and I was like, the shaping is really cool. And I was like, wait a minute. It looks a little off. That's because I had it upside down. There we go. Okay, so now that makes more sense because the ears would be here and here. Okay, that makes more sense because that would clip in. Erase what I just said. Try again. All right. Eevee, let's give you some hair on the top of your little head. Cover up that blue. Okay, where is that part? Okay, all right, and then I need some of these cheese wedges to give little tufts of fur popping up left and right. Pop these on. All right. So yesterday the question was asked in the chat, what is your favorite Pokemon? I'm curious to know if anybody else is new to the chat today that has an answer you'd like to share. And if so, what it would be. I thought more about that yesterday after the feed, and I still stick with Jinx being one of my favorites, but also Squirtle and Bulbasaur and Charizard and Eevee. They're just all so cute. They're all so darn cute. And then this weekend there was like a Ninetales event, and so I got a whole bunch of Ninetales, and I really like the white one. I think it's really pretty. Okay, this is showing that I should have a 1x4 white brick, which is not in here. I hope I didn't speak too soon. Oh, there it is. It was in the paper bag. I do find with these paper bags that it's easier for me to miss a piece when emptying them. So I never throw them out until I'm done building a set. I don't want to make that mistake. But I'm still grateful that they moved to paper. I think that was a smart move for the company. And while it's not exclusively paper, which I had lots of people read me on because I said, here's one way I was sharing a thing about how to recycle the plastic bags, because in Austin in particular, it's not super easy to recycle them. And there's a company called Ridwell that takes them. And in that video, I shared about how Lego went to all paper. That was the one thing I mentioned. And then was talking about like, here's how to recycle the plastic bags while you're still getting them. And so many people got upset and were like, they did not go to all paper. That's not true. They went to partial paper. It's 95% paper. And it's still 5% not paper. I was like, okay, you all are right. I was wrong. And that is perfectly fine. And I appreciate people letting me know. That said, the spirit of what I was talking about was how to recycle the plastic. So let's make sure that we're talking about how to continue to recycle those things. So, Lucerito, Lucario. Oh, is that another one of the evolutions, or is that your favorite Pokemon in general? All right. Okay, here's the final shape. This makes more sense that it kind of curves up at the back. I was so confused when it looked like it was this way. And then we have those little spots on the left and right for the ears. Okay, your favorite Pokemon. Awesome. I will have to look that one up and see what it looks like. They all have such interesting names. Okay, love the posability here, that it can be looking up or down-ish, and it can be like twisting its head all the way around in different ways. But I like that you can have it like kind of tilted, like a curious dog. So cute. Okay, so now we're going to build the ears, and I'm going to try and do both of them at the same time. Let me look at the picture first, but it looks like I think they're reverse image of each other. So I'm going to do what I can to see if I can do them twice, not twice as fast, but like just all at the same time. In part because I find it fun to challenge myself to have to reverse engineer or reverse the pattern as you're going. Okay. Watch as I do this, and then it'll say like, do this 2 times as opposed to one and then the other. But I do think they're mirror image of each other. So from what it looked like on the page. All right. So I like that they're using, like, I feel like with Eevee, they got the colors perfect and spot on. But I'm curious to know if there are any Pokemon that wouldn't really work with our traditional Lego colors. I can't think of any off the top of my head, But like I said, there's still some gaps in my knowledge of all of this, so I could be wrong about that. And yeah, curious if any of you have any thoughts on that. The Lego palette is pretty wide too. So how long have you been married? Oh, good question. And I'll answer that in a second. Vaporeon is my favorite, but Squirtle, Primarina, and Quaxley are my faves also. Water Pokemon trainer. Ah, fun. Nice. I believe I like the grass types best. That's what I think I learned yesterday that someone shared. I have been married for 15, no, that's a lie, for 10 years. I've been with Philip for 15. We met when I first moved to Austin. We met online about 6 months in, 7 months into me living here, 7 or 8 months actually, and started dating. And then we were together for 15 years before we actually got married. So it's been a very wonderful journey and a long time. And it's fun to just think through how much life has passed. Like time just flies by for sure. So love living life with him and raising our dog Penny and just having a blast with all the wonderful things that we get to do together. He and I have a lot of things in common and also have a lot of things not in common. And that's fun. That's part of the joy of being married or being in a relationship with somebody. So yeah, that's the short and long of it. But yeah, he is a wonderful, wonderful human. And really, honestly, he's my favorite person. I think and hope he'd say the same about me. So, but he's not here to defend himself. He is on some work calls in the other room. So, all right. So here's one almost done. So I got the brown for the inside, and then on the other side, it's like a nice smooth back, and we're going to cover these studs up as well. Now I'm working on adding the brown on this side too. So yeah, we met online and went and met in person at the Austin Pride Parade and Festival. So, okay, we attach the ears here, and then there's some finishing touches that go on each one. But now I can skip these next steps because I did the reverse and it worked. All right, so we have that there. Oh no, that's it. Wait, what did I miss? I missed something. Somehow I missed putting this piece on. So let me see where that goes. I'm confused. Why would that be? This must go on the head somewhere. Okay, there's 4 of those. Well, this is frustrating. This is also part of what happens when you live stream while building, is sometimes it's easy to miss some things. But yes, let's flip through and see if we can figure out where those pieces belong. I am surprised. Okay. See this gap? That's not supposed to be a gap. Let's fix that. So I need to remove this top tuft of hair because that seals it in. I think that's all of it, right? Perfect. Okay. Much better. I would have noticed that later and it would have driven me crazy. So I'm super glad that I noticed it now. Yeah, I'll show you in just a second the piece that I'm surprised is not finished on this build. Okay, snap that back on. Much better shaping. Okay, give the little tuft of hair again, and we are done. Okay, so here we go. So we've got the little face, super cute. The ears can go up and down, which is really fun. I like them like straight up where he looks really surprised, and also is kind of giving me some of the little looks that Penny gives, which is fun. The legs articulate. This is so cute, back and forth, and also the little feet have little hinges there too, so you can actually address that as well. And this tail can rotate like this and can also go up and down, or if you have it this way, can go side to side. So really, really well done. I am obsessed. Oh, the foot fell off. Let's clip that on again. I am obsessed. It's so cute. I will say that the weight of it means, I'm guessing, yeah, it's not probably ever going to be able to just stand up on those hind feet by itself. Let's see. Maybe I can get it to do it. No, because the joints on these ankles just curve. It's a little too easy. Are you able to make it female or male? Just like with Pikachu, you can change the tail shape. I'm not sure. That's a good question. And do you think the price is justified for Eevee? I don't fully remember the price point, so let me look that up real quick to tell you. I think in general, Lego tends to be a little bit more expensive than it needs to be. So I think in general, Lego could serve to be a little bit lower in price. That said, I don't think that these are outrageous, particularly given that they are with an IP. And what I mean by that is for the amount of bricks that you get in them and the complicated level of detail and that kind of stuff. Do I think it's outrageous that these sets are the only ones available right now? Yes. I think having a $650, a $200, and a $60 set is the only options when you first release it is a choice. And I think they could have chosen to do some smaller sets like Eevee that are more around the $40 to $70 price point. More of those in this first wave. But I like that we have this $650 and $200 set as well. I think that they're worth it if people want to have something that large in their collection. So that's my take on it. But yeah, so with it being $60, I just looked at the prices. With it being $60, I think that's a little bit pricier than I would want it to be. But I'm very impressed with the sculpting. And I think that the techniques were really fantastic in this, and the color and shaping and everything. It looks like a stunning display model. So I think it's worth it. Knowing that there's an IP tax, if you will, with anything associated with an intellectual property like Pokemon. So that's my 2 cents on it. That said, too, I think when you talk with any reviewer, they're all going to have different approaches with it. My reviews tend to focus less on the price, not because I don't care about it, but because so many other reviewers give that input and share that information. My approach typically is I want to show people the cool techniques that I learned from the builds, and part of that too is fun secret. You can learn all these techniques without buying the set. So you can download the instructions for free from Lego's websites once they're available to purchase. And from there, you can look through and learn all these different techniques. So I like to showcase that because I like to talk about what you can learn from this and apply it into a mock. So for me, one of the things that I really loved was what I showed with the head, the internal parts of the head, showing how the axles were making it more stable is important when you're thinking about wanting to have a head that when I do this, it's not just going to pop off. That is very important when you have one that's this heavy. Like, look at this. I'm shaking it pretty violently, and it's still staying on pretty well. So yeah, so that's my thought. But great question for sure. And yeah, I think everybody has their own perspective on price points and what's worth it or what's not. I do think that it was an interesting choice to release just these 3 sets in their first wave, with 2 of them being well over $100. So I mean, 200 and 650.